Lap of luxury, killer Carmelo Anthony's parents flaunted cruise vacation, fancy dinners, and new cars before he murdered the teen. So what's missing was so I guess midnight basketball wasn't enough. I guess all of anti-whiteism and hiring and the favoritism and the forgiveness and the not requiring you to be responsible and now living in the white safe neighborhoods. By the way, the Anthonys live in a home that is nearly twice as expensive as the Metcalfs, driving the most expensive cars that the average person could find on the road, driving that, going on beautiful cruises and vacations and dressing to the nines on a regular basis. Why wasn't that enough? What the else do you need? I mean, how much more do black people in general need to have done for them? How much more? And this reminds me forcefully of a instance in my life that I put into Crucible. I got Prometheus Rising out there, but I put into Crucible where I got into an argument with the teacher because I was saying, hey, this black kid, I won't give his real name, that I'm friends with, that I've eaten dinner at his house, they have a bigger house and nicer cars than my parents. And she said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because, and then they list all of the excuses for the anti-white narrative. You still have to make amends to them. You still have to feel bad. You still have to incessantly, because you're white, you still have to incessantly concern yourself with their well-being, what they're thinking, especially the black males. If they ever misbehave, and according to the data, they misbehave more than everyone. According to our lived experience, they misbehave more than everyone else. And white people are the cause of it. Oh, it just doesn't matter that they behave the same way in areas where there are no white people, where white people aren't in charge. And in fact, we're going to be talking about South Africa, early segue, a little bit later, where white people aren't in charge. They haven't been in charge since 94. In fact, before then, they weren't in charge. They weren't running their own country. So it's been even longer since then. And they still seem to be behaving a very specific way. Not every single one of them, obviously, but so many of them that the data reflects it. So what else could Carmelo have had done for him? Loving family, all the money, a rich father, successful father. Wonder how he got his job. What about Carmelo's GPA? How is he getting his grades? Hard to imagine that somebody can be, unless they are psychotic, that somebody could be such a ardent and just fervently focused student and then would say, go ahead and touch me so I can kill your ass. Because I get that same kind of talk from totally uneducated blacks on the street in the city. So you'll tell me that it's their poverty there. I can't go to numerous neighborhoods. I mean, shit, elected officials and appointed officials in D.C. getting robbed all the time. I can't go to massive swaths of D.C. because I'm white, because they will prey upon me immediately. No, Jake Lang, it's not predatorize. They're not going to predatorize on me. They will prey upon. So you'll tell me then, oh, it's because they're poor. But what about the white poor that don't have the same crime rate? Well, it's because they were in slavery. Oh, yeah, slavery's been over for a long time. White people were also enslaved. White people ended the slave trade. When does this excuse run out? When do all the exceptions get to run out? $900,000 home. How much was your home? How much was your parents' home? What have these people done for this country? One excuse after another. So here, as a consequence of anti-whiteism, which undermines white people, which thieves from us, which compels us to bear the lion's share of the costs for social welfare, and the lion's share recipients for that behave like this. Killer Karmelo Anthony's parents flaunted the cruise vacations, fancy dinners, so they get to be rich in America and at the same time complain about how bad they got it, about how hard it is for them. And right now you've got Dominique Alexander, anti-white extraordinaire, that should have his ass whooped, cussing white people like this absolute criminal. Do you know his record is long as typical? Do you know that? Oh, you mean he wasn't like feeding the hungry for the first 20 years of his life? He wasn't living the life of a pauper and finding food and begging food to give it to others and nursing their wounds and everything? You mean he was speed to evade when law enforcement tried to pull him over? Auto theft or whatever. He's got a long list, a rap sheet. Beating up the girlfriend, physically abusing a toddler, a 2-year-old. That guy, what a surprise, right? Should be in prison for the rest of his life because he's such a burden on our society. And the Anthonys just bring him right in. Naturally. You one of us, come on in. You hate white people like us, come on in. You'll speak perfectly for us. You notice I haven't heard a single word about any dispute between Alexander and the Anthonys. Not at all. They're getting along just fine. So they get to live in an environment where they get the job so that the white man is not going to be given the job. You are not going to be given the job. White lady out there, your husband ain't going to get the job. The guy, your boyfriend, your suitor he's not going to have the job because it's going to go to anybody but a white man. And I would put money down. I don't know for sure, but I'd put money down that Andrew got his work this way. And now he's living high on the hog, as we say down home. Bought the son a Lexus. Karmelo bought the son a Lexus. That's pretty nice. Hard all over. They got it so tough. Nothing but endless complaining from that community, the anti-whites in that community. Nothing but endless complaining and blaming. And then what happens when we go out into society with them? Well, most white people are afraid of them. And you can see, like from this guy, what was his name? Sean, the other day, another advocate for blacks who decided he was going to come unglued when police pulled him over in Pennsylvania. And you got this perfect meme of his face coming at the police officer like a fucking animal. Because something is in some of these people. Not all of them, something is in some of these people that can go from zero to kill you, and they're going to be let off because of it. They're going to be given a free pass because all you did was kill a white guy. All you did was kill a white woman, or all you did was stab a little white boy in his carriage when his mother was pushing him across the parking lot at the grocery store. That's all you did. So most white people have to be intensely afraid. You know, when white people acted more like a community and not even a people, there was only a semblance. There was only this incipience of peoplehood by way of these, the I guess, failed is the way to put it. Faulty is another way to put it. Nationalism. When we did this, we said, oh, who is a problem for us? Who can go from zero to that meme in a heartbeat? And so since we don't go from zero to that, we have to act beforehand. And then these people weren't a problem. And then these people behaved or comported themselves according to the rules and laws and norms of the West, our norms. We suffer omnipresent structural inequities to advance and enrich non-white people, females, other privileged groups at the expense of, detriment to, and ruination of the white race. And we go out in our lives, and there are whole communities that we grew up in that we have to be afraid of now. There are whole communities that we can't live every single moment of our lives. We have to be afraid of some fucking anti-white like this losing their minds in a heartbeat. And then on top of that, we have to be afraid that if we retaliate, if we defend ourselves, we're going to prison. If we retaliate and defend ourselves, it's over for us. And if we're the breadwinner, if we're just the father, we're the brother, we're the son, that's it for our families. So we go through our lives terrified of fucking monsters like this in the black community, these anti-white monsters. And then on top of that, we have to fear even mentioning it, because that is social suicide. That is economic suicide. It's over. We have to fear this social lynching every day of our lives. That's why we implement the Go Free strategy. That's why we win in these conversations as a consequence. Regrettably, though, nothing can be done for this level of bestial violence that we see every single day. And we see it, there are a couple groups of humanity, not every one of them, that we know that it comes from. Everybody knows. Unfortunately, nothing can be done about that until we take the moral high ground with a dialogic designed and successfully proving itself to defeat the psychological warfare of anti-whiteism. Then collective action can put an end to this. Not until then. So how did you grow up? Were your parents filthy fucking rich? Did they buy you an expensive Lexus where you could throw up gang signs and hold a rifle and flick off the camera? Did they work their asses off, not raising children that are murderers? Were they constantly going on cruises and celebrating that great wealth at the same time while cussing other groups of humanity like these folks do? And that group being cussed, of course, is the white race. How much better does it have to get for blacks? I mean, honestly, what more can we do for you? How much further can we bend over backward? You're rich because we have been impoverished by anti-whiteism. And your wealth and your poverty and your intelligence or your lack of intelligence, wherever you are on any of the spectrums, your religion, your lack of religion, your atheism, this bestial, monstrous behavior we see again and again and again. I am fed up with it. I am fucking sick and tired of it. I've had to endure since childhood being incessantly told to think about black people and what, non-white people in general. But most of the conversation has been thinking about black people. This is how anti-whiteism works, because then they just link everything else to where they get started. Think about them. What are they thinking? How are they suffering? And I'm like, they got a bigger house. They got nicer cars. The dad's got an easier job. My father's got to work his ass off for a pittance. These people are going on vacations several times a year. My father got 1 week of vacation a year, unpaid. That's your privilege, motherfucker. The family of Karmelo Anthony lived on opulent lifestyle, sailing on lavish cruise vacations, enjoying extravagant dinners, and buying new cars before their son was arrested and charged with murder. Andrew Anthony, the 17-year-old's father, routinely shared photos and videos of his Facebook account documenting his family's latest adventures or lavish purchases. So look at them here. How come that didn't knock the murderer out of them? How come that didn't knock the bestial behavior, the instant ferocity out of them? This family. Look at them here. They look fantastic. I mean, how much more of the white man's inventions, creations, the ability for us to supply all of the food and the drink and etc., the creation and the building of these ships and cruises, everything that they're taking. How much more are you going to enjoy at our fucking expense? My parents don't get to live again. I don't get to live again. You got it so hard. All of this, the ingenuity, the creativity, the production of the white race. Andrew Anthony and Kayla Hayes, Karmelo's parents, posed for a picture during their anniversary celebration. Oh, that one was in Las Vegas. Karmelo enjoying lamb chops during a family. Boy, this looks really nice. It looks very expensive. Look at him. Boy, he's dressed up beautifully. Why didn't that do it? What more? Did he need some more midnight basketball? Oh, there he is on a brand new Lexus. I know all y'all got that when you were teens too, right? You got the luxury car that your white neighbors, like a white neighbor here or there, the guy was able to purchase for himself. What is that, a Denali? Yukon. Kayla posing inside her pearly white GMC Yukon. Quote, because I'm a gold member, I get special treatment. You dig? The elder Anthony flaunted in a Facebook video as he and his wife enjoyed their room on board Royal Caribbean's Freedom of the Seas, which featured a balcony. The boys are right next door, Anthony says, as he gives his followers a tour of their stay and the glamorous view of their Miami port. Their glamorous experience. I'm so happy. So happy for them. At me and my people's expense. that you all get to live like kings. And then you still treat us this way. You still behave. And make no mistake, Karmelo, anti-white as all hell. Anti-white, when he sat down under that tent to front on the rival team, when them white guys said, get up and move, he said, white boy, in his head, in my opinion. You whites deserve to die. It's our time now. It's our time. Just like we're going to see. It's our time for the blacks in Orania. It's our time now. You stole it all, white man. You stole it all, white race. It's our time now. It's our time. Our access to your women, to your houses, to your cars, to your ships, to your vacations, to your riches, to your expensive clothing. That's what went through his head. You're going to die, Whitey, if you touch me. In my opinion, that's what went through his head. And then you see very clearly that the Anthony family as a whole are as anti-white as that trifling anti-white bitch, Karmelo. They are as anti-white because they link their destiny and what's going to happen with their son and what's going to happen with their family with the anti-white extraordinaire Dominique Alexander. So what you have here is the quintessential anti-white black family. This is the quintessential American anti-white black family. Uppity as all fuck. Acting like they deserve everything the white man has ever done or built or created. It's really rightfully theirs. Happily walking over the white bodies at work, at school, wherever it is, to get they due. Nobody white's getting hired here. We got to hit this quota so we can brag about it this next business quarter. So do we got it? So, this Andrew over there, he speaks proper English. All right, bring him in. He's hired. 6 figures. Because he's black. Because he's not a white man. Because he's not a white man. This is the quintessential anti-white, white, viscerally hating white people, wealthy black family in America. And they will point endlessly at, if they could find one, if there was one black person left that had less money than a white person, that had fewer dollars than a white person, they would still, they are so impudent, so myopic, so selfish, that they would still point to that black guy, that last black guy that doesn't have more money than white people, and say, see, you keeping us down. This is what's coming to rule over you, white America. Anti-whites. Anti-whites in the black race, anti-whites in the Jewish race, anti-whites in the white race. This is what's coming to rule over you. This sort of total oblivious inconsideration, violence. In a separate video from the cruise holiday, Anthony showcases one of his family's dinners, which included a table spread with lamb chops, steaks, and seafood. My father never ate like that. And I guarantee you, my father's IQ, creativity, ingenuity, infinitely higher. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Work ethic, infinitely higher. Guaranteed. How long are white guys expected to suffer this shit? This old idea for white guys that they're supposed to just They're not supposed to show any emotion. They're just supposed to take it in stride. They're just, especially in the Germanic Anglo work ethic, you're just supposed to just go and you just live and you just work your life away. You're just, and you ignore all of the injustice. You ignore what's being done. How long until we finally say enough is enough? How long? I'll tell you how long, because we've got the keys right here. How long is when enough white people are using the lexicon and dialectics in this practice? It's that long. Then everything changes. Karmelo is also seen in the video munching on lamb chops. In a separate video viewed by the U.S. Sun, Anthony boasts about his and his wife's grand anniversary celebration. Yeah, coming to you live. Yes, baby. Happy anniversary to my beautiful baby, Anthony said, standing on the balcony of their room with a view of the Sin City. The number of white people, white men, white women, white families that have suffered incalculably so that Andrew Anthony could stand on a balcony built by a white man, envisioned by white people, all of it effectuated because of white people in a civilization by white people, so that they could stand up there in their $500 shoes and their $1,500 handbags and sneer with hatred at us, is enough to make me come unglued. It reminds me of that commercial. They won't make any more commercials like this because anti-whites control too much. But if you've ever seen it, it's this old white guy working for the power company, and it's like a hurricane. And he comes in, and the commercial touched a lot of people because of how true it was, because of how much we lived it. The old guy comes in exhausted. He's like moaning and from the exhaustion and pain. And he sits down and starts untying one of his boots, and the power goes out. And then he starts tying the boot back up. That's the white race, motherfucker. You get down on one knee. You get down on one knee and thank us. Anthony then briefly exits the frame of the video before he returns with an ace of spades champagne, telling his followers, this cost me about $2,000. The bottle of champagne cost him $2,000. None of that would exist if it weren't for the white race being able to produce a surplus, a massive surplus, because of our productivity, because of our genius, because of our work ethic. Couple is seen in another video riding in a private limousine and enjoying drinks from the limousine's ice bar. In two separate photos shared on Anthony's Facebook, Hayes is seen posing beside a pearly white GMC Yukon, and in another posted last May, Karmelo is pictured sitting on the hood of his new Lexus with a red bow on it, and it reads, "Happy birthday, murderer." Just wondering, did Austin get a Lexus for his birthday? Right now, part of the update, Dominique and I guess their law team, Mike Howard, are working on trying to compel the school to allow Karmelo to graduate, because the school is saying you shouldn't have been out there. You shouldn't have, no matter the circumstance. You've been suspended before for bringing a knife to school. So now it's expulsion time. And so now the anti-whites from across the country behind Howard and Alexander are demanding that the school allow Karmelo next month to graduate so that he can walk. Don't deny him walking across the stage. Of course, Austin doesn't get to walk across the stage. He's forever young. Do you understand what that even, do you appreciate human life at all? No, they don't. Black people who are anti-white don't appreciate human life. They end it all the time. But as long as Karmelo, he should be able to walk across it. The Anthony family's life was upended and put under a microscope by the net. And by the way, do you think that taunting and provoking someone to do something so that you could murder them, do you really think that that was Karmelo's like first thing? I know we've covered it in detail, much better detail than everyone else I've seen talking about this. The fighting at the schools, the suspension, the in-house handling of his disciplinary problems, where it should have been police notified, but they weren't, because you don't want this fast track from high school to a jail cell. Of course, all about anti-whiteism, all to do with anti-whiteism. The not punishing Karmelo so that you can keep your punishment rates the same for all of the different races, so that non-whites and white are all punished at the same rate. We covered all of that. Do you really think it's the first time? He just went bad that day. So for some reason, get out of here with this total conservative nonsense of, oh, it's just the gang rap music. That's what it is. That's somebody has compelled them to behave this way. Really, there's no gang rap music in plenty of other parts of the world, even before there was gang rap music. And we saw from a certain segment the exact same behavior. So stop trying to talk this away. Like, what are you going to say? Some Jew did it to all of us. Fuck you. It's finding so many in the totality of the black race are attracted to that mindset, that lifestyle, that music, because that's in harmony with their spirit. That's why so few the white people who are normally attracted to it, by far and large, are the white guys who are trying to ape it pathetically so that they can get a date, so that they won't be seen as a white guy. Look, he's practically black. His pants are hanging all the way down by the backside of his knees. The horrific murder, unfolded on April 2nd at Köhne Stadium in Frisco, Texas. We don't need to read any of that. No more for the update there. The claim that, look at the brain surgeon here getting ready to brain surgery. I mean, when you're getting ready to brain surgery, you know, the claim of self-defense, and if I'm wrong, somebody can make sure I'm right. They can follow up on it. But I think it's Penal Code 9. Is it 9 point? What was it? 9 point something. 9.31, 9.32. That says that you can only respond with lethal force if that's what's being used against you. So somebody can follow and read up on that and see if that's accurate. But you can't use lethal force even if somebody is pushing you, even if somebody is, etc. But what they're doing is they're fitting this into the anti-white narrative so that they can make it a part of that narrative and say, oh, black angel, innocent victim, wrongly put upon, suffering for, like what? I mean, look at his face right there. He's suffered for like 10,000 years. And he's been suffering at the hands of this guy for 10,000 years. There's your Rosa Parks. Frisco Memorial High School student. Okay, so that's more of the same. Silent protest, a heartbroken Jeff Metcalf, Austin's father. So we're going to be segueing into the psychology of Jeff Metcalf, a guy who on his Facebook has written in the past, Happy Kwanzaa. The Karmelo, by the way, the Karmelo family, since they achieved their 500,000 goal, they went ahead and ticked that up a little bit. They went ahead and said, let's go for 550 now. How much more can we get? Roll the dice, baby. Kayla, roll the dice. How much more can we get out of these people? It's us against the white race here. And you look at the comments, you read the comments, and that's what they're saying. So many of them. This is talking right there about the press conference that Jeff Metcalf attended because why? What's going on in his mind? Why is Jeff Metcalf behaving the way that he's behaving? Why is it so unnatural? A lot of people are asking this question and they don't have the answers, but we do.